Hey YouTube family, it's Stinko the Realtor, your Utah Realtor. Today we're going to take a look at just how bad the housing market is. You know the Cenobius YouTube channel, you know I got the data, you know I'm going to give you the information you can't get anywhere else. Do me a favor, smash that like button, that way I can get this video in front of more people. Make sure to subscribe button, that way you're notified when new videos drop, so you have all the information that you need to make that purchasing decision when you feel it's the right time for you. And also, these videos take a couple of hours to put together, so that like button, that subscribe button would help me, go a long way of helping me get this video in front of more people. My contact information is down below in the description. Whenever you need a realtor, I got your back. If that's this year, next year, whenever it is, I'll keep providing you with this data. Now here it is. Let me remove myself. Look at this. And I've been showing this continuous increase every single month, year over year. We are already at essentially 4,100 with another week and a half to go. So this is going to be May, another month that we are going to have more listings hitting the housing market. And there's a catch right now. It seems that under contracts might actually be decreasing. So preliminary data, preliminary information that I have, things that I've been following. So I'm going to show you this when it actually happens. I don't want to put things in your head that are not happening yet. I want to give you solid information that I actually see. So that's something that I potentially might be sharing here maybe in the next month or two. But if we have under contracts decreasing as we have inventory increasing with the amount of new listings hitting the housing market, plus the sales are essentially exactly where they were a year ago, give or take on each month, that's not going to be good news. Now let's get here into some information, and I got a lot to share with you guys. Home sellers cut list prices amid higher mortgage rates as the spring season begins. So even in the spring season, home sellers were having to cut prices because homes were not selling, more inventory, more options. And the spring season is when we've only seen upticks for 3 years now, in 2022, in 2023, and in 2024. So that right there is showing us that even in the spring season, things are slower than they should be. Well, growing inventory. Now, check this out. Zillow actually is forecasting that home values will decline by 0.9%. Now, I actually did not remove myself. Look at that. Right there. Zillow forecasts that. Now, why is this big news? Well, Zillow is very optimistic about the housing market. The reason is they make all their money, well, not all their money, but the biggest chunk comes from selling leads to realtors. So they want everybody to think that the housing market is great. They also have advertisements on their websites to the consumers, to the buyers, the sellers that surf the web. So it is in their best interest to say that the housing market is in its best shape. Now look how they revised this. Look at this right here. Zillow just raised its home price forecast, seeing a 3.7% jump in 2024. Now, keep in mind that we've seen an uptick here in the spring, just like we have in the previous 2 years. So if prices are going to start coming down, does that mean it's actually a couple of percentage points that they're forecasting prices are going to come down? And if they're saying a couple of percentage points, it's most likely or potentially could get much worse than that, right? Now, check this out right here. Home listing availability continues to improve in April. There were 30.4% more homes actively for sale on a typical day in April compared with the same time in 2023. So guys, this is not only happening in the Greater Salt Lake, the Wasatch Front in Utah's housing market. It is happening nationwide where we are seeing this increase in housing inventory. And if it's happening nationwide, that means it's potentially going to get even worse locally because we're not the only ones that are experiencing that. It gives buyers more options here and in other areas. Now, you see that for 6 consecutive months, marking the 6th consecutive month of annual inventory growth. Now, this differs a little bit from the Utah housing market because in the winter months here, there's a lot of snow, and really, we do not have an active winter housing market compared to some of the other Sunbelt states. And they're the ones that are seeing this inventory skyrocketing even more than we are. And remember, we are 2,000 units higher than same time a year ago, almost 2,000 units. We have anywhere from 23 to 27%, depending on the day that you're comparing year over year. So essentially, we're almost at that 30%, and our inventory starts lingering after school year begins. So it's a little bit different in some of the markets that are warmer, where sales are happening at a closer to a same pace every single month throughout the year. Here, things definitely slow down around the holidays and the winter months. Now, look at this right here. Look at the inventory, right? Well, if this right here is a 30% increase, well, this right here doesn't really look like it's 30%. But now, if we're not at 30%, look how much bigger the gap's actually looking over here towards the right. Oh, let me remove myself. Over here towards the right on ours. So are they kind of trying to mimic, manipulate the graph to make it look like it's not as big of an increase per se? Everything's kind of different depending on where you're looking, where you're analyzing things. But look at the growth that we're seeing here in the inventory. Blue is representing 2024. Orange is representing 2023. So it is just continuing to skyrocket. And if this trend continues, it's definitely going to be much better deals in the second half. And if you're a seller, you want to get your house on the market ASAP right now. If you're a buyer, you want to wait until that second half. And with my data, I've been helping buyers and sellers time the housing market to take advantage of it for their best gains, their best interest, right? And if you're a buyer buying right now, you're most likely, per the data, buying at the peak of the market in 2024. So why not wait a little bit and get a much better deal? And I have people reaching out all the time. We're strategizing. They want to talk to my lender. That way you can kind of set everything up, let you know what you can wait for, improve your credit score, whatever it is. I have a great lender that I can recommend to you guys. So feel free to reach out to me. And then right here, this is, I don't think I shared this on the previous one, but look at this. Small businesses in crisis as rising number unable to pay rent. Now, this is not a good sign, and this is not saying that everything in the economy is great. Now, when we scroll down right here, look at this. The company's latest small business report, right, published on Friday, found that 43% of small business renters in the U.S. were unable to pay their rent in full and on time in the month of April. Such a high delinquency rate hasn't been reported in the US since March of 2021 at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic when it reached 49%. Now, 6% difference on that big of a number is really not that big of a difference. So that is showing us, and I've been showing in previous videos, issues with the tech market, issues with the commercial real estate, issues with the car industry. These are the things that I'm telling you that are not stabilized yet. The economy hasn't stabilized yet. The housing market hasn't stabilized yet. Nobody knows exactly how this thing is going to end, but we see there is a lot brewing in the economy. And the thing is, people say, well, this won't impact home prices. How not? If people are losing jobs, well, it's definitely going to impact home prices. So let's get that out the way. And then right here, I shared this one maybe about 6 months ago or 4 months ago. Incredible distortions in our marketplace. 45% of real estate agents claim they're struggling to pay rent. Another bad sign for the housing market, but 2024 could be better. Always could be better, always optimism. Well, it hasn't gotten better, and I shared this at the end of 2023. I've probably cost myself with the information that I'm giving out to people, especially the buyers. I mean, I have buyers that have been waiting for over a year already, maybe even some of them might even be approaching 2 years because they just want to see how these things are going to unfold. And I have people that are waiting, and majority of my buyers are buying in the second half of the year, and that's when they're getting those better deals. So I don't mind costing myself those commission checks. I don't care because I want to give the information. I don't want to make a decision for anybody. Don't want to put any fear mongering into anybody. I want you to have all the information so that you're making a decision that you feel comfortable with, regardless if that's right now, if that's into the future, whenever that is. I want you to be in control. Now, check this out. Nearly 40% of homeowners couldn't afford their home if they were to buy it today. So they did a study, and that's what homeowners think. So the study is a little bit skewed because they surveyed homeowners and they're saying, oh yeah, with current home prices and interest rates, I wouldn't be able to afford my house. Now, there is actually a true story to this. There was somebody that sold their house in 2020, and they were waiting until 2021 to buy another house, and they actually were priced out because of that whole boom that happened in the first 4, 5, 6 months of 2021. They literally said, oh my gosh, I can't afford a house that I sold 8, 9 months ago. So that is actually a true story, and I did actually see that happen. So we are seeing things being completely different in in the housing market, in the economy, than they were in that onset of 2021. And the Fed is fighting against inflation. People are saying they're going to drop rates and home prices are going to go up 100 grand. Well, then that would actually be counterintuitive to what the Fed is trying to do, keep inflation down, and then their fight against inflation wouldn't be over. So, and then everything would become unaffordable for everybody once again. So I don't see why the Fed would drop interest rates back down to 2 or 3%. 2%, I don't think they're ever going to do again, but down to the threes. The only reason they would do that is if something in the economy breaks. That's the only reason we would see a major change in the interest rates on a flip of a light switch, right? Now, if you watched the video this far and you haven't, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. It'll help you so that you're informed with the housing market. It'll help me push this video in front of more people. And until next time, whenever you're watching this, have a great day, have a great night. And until next time, enjoy the evening.